Om Namo Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayanti Nashtaprayeshu Vatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, Chapter 9, the Desire Tree of Devotional Service. Text 37 onwards. Ekala malakarami katafala khava, nadiyava e fala araki kariva. I'm the only gardener. If I did not distribute these fruits, what shall I do with them? How many fruits can I eat alone? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu produced so many fruits of devotional service that they must be distributed all over the world. Otherwise, how could he alone relish and taste each and every fruit? The original reason that Lord Shri Krishna descended as Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was to understand Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna and to taste that love. The fruits of the tree of devotional service were innumerable, and therefore he wanted to distribute them unrestrictedly to everyone. So, fruits of tree of devotional service is a love for Krishna. So he wanted to give it to everybody. That's why Rupa Goswami therefore writes, Anarpita Charimachirata Karunyavatirana Kalo Samarpayitto Munnatto Jvala Rasam Subhakti Shriyam Hari Puratta Sundara Tuti Kudamba Sandipita Sada Hridaya Kandare Svuratuva Shachinandana. There are many previous incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but none were so generous, kind, and magnanimous as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. For he distributed the most confidential aspect of devotional service, namely the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. Therefore, Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada desires that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu live perpetually in the hearts of all devotees, for thus they can understand and relish the loving affairs of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. So Mahaprabhu lives perpetually in the hearts of all devotees, because this is our desire to relish and understand, relish, and serve in Radharani and Krishna in the loving affairs. Atma ichha amrite vriksha sinchi nirantar tahateya sankhya phala vrikshera upara. By the transcendental desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, water has been sprinkled all over the tree, and thus there are innumerable fruits of love of Godhead. God is unlimited and his desires are also unlimited. This example of unlimited fruits is factually appropriate even within the material context. For with the goodwill of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there can be enough fruits, grains, and other foodstuffs produced so that all the people in the world could not finish them, even if they ate 10 times their capacity. So why is there so much of hunger and famine all over the world? Prabhupada says, if people become Krishna, in this material world, there is actually no scarcity of anything but Krishna consciousness. If people become Krishna conscious, by the transcendental will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there will be enough foodstuffs produced so that people will have no economic problems at all. If people become Krishna conscious. This is, Prabhupada is guaranteeing it. One can very easily understand this fact. The production of fruits and flowers depend not upon our will, but upon the supreme will of the personality of Godhead. If he is pleased, he can supply enough fruits, flowers, etc. But if people are atheistic and godless, then nature by his will restricts the supply of food. For example, in several provinces in India, especially Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, and other adjoining states, there is sometimes a great scarcity of foodstuffs due to lack of rainfall. So-called scientists and economists cannot do anything about this. Therefore, to solve all problems, one must seek the goodwill of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by becoming Krishna conscious and worshipping Him regularly in devotional service. It's a very heavy statement. And Prabhupada, he doesn't say, I think, I believe, or something like that. He clearly is saying, if people become Krishna conscious, there cannot be any scarcity anywhere. And sometimes, I believe somewhere I read Prabhupada saying that people say, oh, in Kali Yuga, most of the people are godless. They don't believe and they don't follow all the principles. And how come nature is still supplying? Nature should stop. Well, towards the end of Kali Yuga, yeah, that is what is going to happen. But right now it is still supplying because they are still sadhus, they are still devotees on the planet. So to take care of them, nature supplies. Yes, in the process, other demoniac people also take advantage of it. But nature is supplying because of a few devotees and few sadhus who are still there. अतएव सब फल देहा यारे तारे खाइया हाउक लोक अजर हमारे. Distribute this Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Let people eat these fruits and ultimately become free from old age and death. The Krishna consciousness movement introduced by Lord Chaitanya is extremely important because one who takes to it becomes eternal, being freed from birth, death, and old age. People do not recognize that the real distresses in life are the four principles of birth, death, old age, and disease. Rather, people are so foolish that they resign themselves to these four miseries, not knowing the transcendental remedy of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They resign themselves. Means they say, ye to sansar ka niyam hai, to hona hi hai. This is going to go on. We are going to get old. We're going to get disease. We're going to die. No, we can stop that. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from all misery. Because people are enchanted by the illusory energy. They do not take this movement seriously. Therefore, those who are actually servants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must seriously distribute this movement all over the world to render the greatest benefit to human society. Of course, animals and other lower species are not capable of understanding this movement. But even if a small number of human beings take it seriously, then by their chanting loudly, all living entities, including even trees, animals, and other lower species, will be benefited. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired from Haridas Thakur how he was to benefit living entities other than humans, Srila Haridas Thakur replied that the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so potent that if it is chanted loudly, everyone will benefit, including the lower species of life. Say, everybody gets benefited. Because soul can hear the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because Hare Krishna Mahamantra is transcendental. Even if we think animals, birds, plants, they cannot hear, no, the soul can hear. And even if the person doesn't speak, a human being who doesn't speak this language, soul can still hear and he can get benefited. Jagat vyapya mora habe punya kheyati sukhi haya loka mor gahi beka kirti. If the fruits are distributed all over the world, my reputation as a pious man will be known everywhere, and thus all people will glorify my name with great pleasure. This prediction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is now actually coming to pass. The Krishna consciousness movement is being distributed all over the world through the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And people who are leading confused, chaotic lives are now feeling transcendental happiness. They're finding peace in Sankirtan, and therefore they're acknowledging the supreme benefit of this movement. This is the blessing of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His prediction is now factually being fulfilled, and those who are sober and conscientious are appreciating the value of this great movement. And that is true. Sankirtan, this Sankirtan Yagya, Sankirtan movement is it's so amazing. Wherever the devotees are truly going and chanting, people find it very different atmosphere. And sometimes they join the devotees. And even if they join just for a moment, appreciating Harinam and devotees and start to dance, this is enough to create a good account of Agyat Sakriti for them. And then Mahaprabhu's direction or instruction to all of us. Bharat bhumi te haila manushya janma ja, janma sarthakari kar par upaka. One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharatvarsha, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. So this is our duty, simple as that, nothing else. The magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is expressed in this very important verse. Although he was born in Bengal and Bengalis therefore have a special duty toward Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is addressing not only Bengalis but all the inhabitants of India. It's in the land of India that actual human civilization can be developed. Looking at the condition of India, we might not agree with all this, but no, India is still the land of piety, land of dharma. Human life is especially meant for God realization, as stated in the Vedanta Sutra, Atha Brahma Jigyasa. Anyone who takes birth in the land of India, Bharatvarsha, has a special privilege of being able to take advantage of the instruction and guidance of the Vedic civilization. He automatically receives the basic principles of spiritual life for 99.9% of the Indian people. Even simple village farmers and others who are neither educated nor sophisticated believe in the transmigration of the soul, believe in past and future lives, believe in God, and naturally want to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his representative. Wow. Proposes 99.9% of Indian people. Well, currently it might not be true, or maybe it is because the population of India is so much. But the point is still we have to do our job, preaching. These ideas are the natural inheritance of a person born in India. India has many holy places of pilgrimage, such as Gaya, Banaras, Mathura, Prayag, Vrindavan, Haridwar, Rameshwaram, and Jagannath Puri. And still people go there by the hundreds and thousands. Yes. Although the present leaders of India are influencing the people not to believe in God, not to believe in a next life, and not to believe in a distinction between pious and impious life. And although they're teaching them how to drink wine, eat meat, and become supposedly civilized, people are nevertheless afraid of the four activities of sinful life, namely illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. And whenever there is a religious festival, they gather together by the thousands. Well, unfortunately, this whole thing is going down. We have actual experience of this. Whenever the Krishna consciousness movement holds a Sankirtan festival in a big city like Calcutta, Bombay, Madras, Ahmedabad, or Hyderabad, thousands of people come to hear. Sometimes we speak in English, but even though most people do not understand English, they nevertheless come to hear us. Even when imitation incarnations of Godhead speak, people gather in the thousands, for everyone who is born in the land of India has a natural spiritual inclination and is taught the basic principles of spiritual life. They merely need to be a little more educated in the Vedic principles. That's all. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says here, Janma sarthak kare kar parapaka. If an Indian is educated in the Vedic principles, he is able to perform the most beneficial welfare activity for the entire world. So he is able to perform. So we have to take it upon ourselves. This is what Prabhupada is, or Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is expecting from all of us. At present, for want of Krishna consciousness or God consciousness, the entire world is in darkness, having been covered by the four principles of sinful life: meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, and intoxication. Therefore, there is a need for vigorous propaganda to educate people to refrain from sinful activities. This will bring peace and prosperity. The rogues, thieves, and debauchees will naturally decrease in number, and all of human society will be God conscious. All of human society. The practical effect of our spreading the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world is that now the most degraded debauchees are becoming the most elevated saints. This is only one Indian's humble service to the Lord. If all Indians had taken to this path, as advised by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, India would have given a unique gift to the world, and thus India would have been glorified. Now, however, India is known as a poverty-stricken country, and whenever anyone from America or another opulent country goes to India, he sees many people living by the footpaths, for whom there are not even provisions for 2 meals a day. There are also institutions collecting money from all parts of the world in the name of welfare activities for poverty-stricken people, but they are spending it for their own sense gratification. Now, on the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Krishna consciousness movement has been started, and people are benefiting from this movement. Therefore, it is now the duty of the leading men of India to consider the importance of this movement and train many Indians to go outside of India to preach this cult. People will accept it. There will be cooperation among the Indian people and among the other people of the world. And the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will then be fulfilled. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will then be glorified all over the world, and people will naturally be happy, peaceful, and prosperous, not only in this life, but also in the next. For as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, anyone who understands Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, will very easily get salvation or freedom from the repetition of birth and death and go back home, back to Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore requests every Indian to become a preacher of his cult to save the world from disastrous confusion. This is not only the duty of Indians, but the duty of everyone. And we are happy that American and European boys and girls are seriously cooperating with this movement. One should know definitely that the best welfare activity for all of human society is to awaken man's God consciousness or Krishna consciousness. Therefore, everyone should help this great movement. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 22nd chapter, verse 35, which is next quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Prabhupada gives heavy purport. And he's not wrong. He's completely true when he says, by becoming Krishna conscious, Krishna can remove anything that is lacking in our life. There cannot be an economic problem if we all are Krishna conscious. And when in Brahma Samhita it is a Lakshmi Sahasrashata Sambram Sevyamam. Thousands of Lakshmis are serving him, that Govinda, Govinda Madi Purusham, Tamaham Bhajami. So if we become Krishna conscious, if we are serving Krishna, so how can there be any scarcity in the world? Lakshmi ji, thousands of Lakshmi jis will be there, serving Govinda. But our problem is we don't want to become Krishna conscious. We don't want to serve him. We only want to enjoy his energy or his Lakshmi ji. We don't want to serve him. So this verse in 10th canto, the Prabhupada is speaking in the purport. Etavat janma safalyam dehinam iha dehishu praner arther dhiya vacha shreya acharanam sada. It's a duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with his life, wealth, intelligence, and words. There are two kinds of general activities: shreyas, or activities which are ultimately beneficial and auspicious, and prayers, or those which are immediately beneficial and auspicious. For example, children are fond of playing. They do not want to go to school to receive an education, and they think that to play all day and night and enjoy with their friends is the aim of life. Even in the transcendental life of Lord Krishna, we find that when he was a child, he was very fond of playing with his friends of the same age, the cowherd boys. He would not even go home to take his dinner. Mother Yashoda would have to come out to induce him to come home. Thus, it's a child's nature to engage all day and night in playing, not caring even for his health and other important concerns. This is an example of prayas, or immediately beneficial activities. But there are also shreyas, or activities which are ultimately auspicious. According to Vedic civilization, a human being must be God conscious. He should understand what God is, what this material world is, who he is, and what their interrelationships are. This is called Shreya, so ultimately auspicious activity. In this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that one should be interested in Shreyas. To achieve the ultimate goal of Shreyas, or good fortune, one should engage everything, including his life, wealth, and words, not only for himself, but for others also. However, unless one is interested in Shreyas in his own life, he cannot preach of Shreyas for the benefit of others. So he cannot preach. So if I'm not interested in ultimate goal of life myself, how can I talk to others about it? This verse cited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu applies to human beings, not to animals. As indicated in the previous verse, by the words Manusya Janma, these injunctions are for human beings. Unfortunately, human beings, although they have the bodies of men, are becoming less than animals in their behavior. This is the fault of modern education. Modern educators do not know the aim of human life. They're simply concerned with how to develop the economic condition of the countries or of human society. This is also necessary. The Vedic civilization considers all aspects of human life, including dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. But humanity's first concern should be religion. To be religious, one must abide by the orders of God. But unfortunately, people in this age have rejected religion and they're busy in economic development. And also people say, oh, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. This has become like a fashion. No, religion and spiritual, they go hand in hand. Therefore, they're busy in economic development. Therefore, they will adopt any means to get money. So by hook or crook, just get money. For economic development, one does not need to get money by hook or by crook. One needs only sufficient money to maintain his body and soul. However, because modern economic development is going on with no religious background, people have become lusty, greedy, and mad after money. They're simply developing the qualities of rajas, passion, and tamas, ignorance. neglecting the other quality of nature, sattva, and the Brahminical qualifications. Therefore, the entire society is in chaos. Bhagavatam says that it is the duty of an advanced human being to act in such a way as to facilitate human society's attainment of the ultimate goal of life. There is a similar verse in Vishnu Puran, which is next quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So very, very important for us. Of course, we all have taken up this goal, ultimate goal of human life, this Shreyas that Prabhupada is talking about. But at the same time, we have to let others also know, reach to others, whichever way we can, howsoever we have. Because this is also a debt on us. From what we learned from Prabhupada, this is a debt. We are indebted. So only way to repay this debt is to give this knowledge to others, give this message to others. Okay, so wonderful day today of Jagannath, Lord Jagannath Shona Vesha. He wears this golden ornament that you can see in the background. And Dwadashi is when they'll have big pots of good, wonderful stuff they carry, and they put in those pots and they offer to the Lord. And then they break those parts on the chariot. And then all the demigods, Bhut, Pret, everybody who has come there, they accept this prasad of Lord Jagannath. And then the following day, Lord Jagannath goes inside. Even though when he goes, Balramji and Subhadra are led inside, allowed inside by Lakshmiji. But when Jagannathji wants to go, he is stopped. And then he offers Rasgulla to Lakshmiji. Then she accepts Rasgulla, and then she goes, and then he is allowed. So Triyodashi, we can make Rasgullas, so we can bring Rasgullas and offer it to Jagannath, so that he can offer this to Lakshmiji in his own way. Okay, so you all have a safe and wonderful day. Oh, anybody has any questions or comments? Okay, you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.